Peace, family. I'm not sure what happened. I think the brother phone might have died. But I wanted to thank everybody who signed up tonight. This was amazing. I don't always get time to really share a lot of old content and a lot of old stories and things of that nature. Sometimes I just be busy trying to get y'all keys and provide some value to you. But I just really want to thank everybody who was tuned in to the live with me and Brother Being X. Everybody who's been tuned in to No, they don't hurt my ears ahead. Everybody who's been tuned in to the Keys Academy and the Unity is Wealth app, we begin a lot of sign-ups and we get a lot of people that's been supporting. So it's always important that you acknowledge the people who support you. It's always important that you acknowledge the people who support you. That's what it's all about. Every day it's all about coming on here, providing value, providing substance. I had the pleasure of being at the mosque earlier today. And I was sitting there and I was thinking about the minister that was there, Brother Tony, and how much every day he comes up there and provide, or every week that he has to be consistent in providing value for the people, and how arduous of a task that must be, delivering to a people who are dead, mentally dead, and a lot of people just don't know, and a lot of people don't have the ability to think for self or to think outside the terms of their comfortable paradigm. And I was listening to the brother, and he was talking about how the United States of America was giving or is giving Israel, stimulus packages, if you will, and it's giving them billions of dollars per month, and they actually wanted to 10x that billions of dollars that we was given, and it came as a timely message because I had a question. I was listening to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and as I was listening to him, he was talking about separation, and he was talking about how the Negro wants to live in the white slave master's paradigm to where he's constantly under him, constantly begging, constantly asking for a place. And one thing that he consistently was talking about was separation. But he said separation and getting a separate state and territory of our own. And the interviewer kept pressing him. He was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. And you saying that you want the government to pay for this, but you're saying that you guys want to be independent at the same time. How does that work? And he was saying that basically you all owe us this for our blood, sweat, and tears. But he kept driving the point that you all are supposed to pay for this. This is your job. He kept driving that point. And I kept asking the question, like, why did he drive that point so much? It almost seemed like an impossibility. And I looked at this, and the minister today clarified that for me. And he said that, a lot of people thought it was impossible. He just said that somebody else got what was supposed to be ours because it was the Jews that was able to get exactly what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was asking for in the 60s and 70s. They was able to get their land. At first, they was going to settle. They had come up to an agreement to where they was able to get Uganda. But of course, they were saying that the Ugandans weren't gonna have none of that. And then I think they settled on somewhere else, and then eventually, it got Israel and Palestine is what they were able to do. And he was saying that, damn, why would they be giving them billions of dollars as if they're the ones who participated in the Holocaust when we have went through 400 years of slavery and was getting nothing from those people who claim that they want equality and say that they love us. But when I looked at the plan that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, when he said that we were supposed to be able to get that from the government and get that from those who owe it from us, he was thinking about those funds that could be allocated to the black man and woman in America. And I was saying, wow. So the possibility did exist because people think that it was impossible for such thing to happen. But when you see the proof of possibility, then you saying that, oh, it could have happened. But we didn't have the knowledge that he had at the time, which was trying to steal us the intellectual capability to be able to go and deal with the politics of the government and being intentful as far as what we want and the only thing that we want, and not wavering from that position or that point, which would allow us to gain power and then negotiate that power. Because Martin Luther King, before he died, he was talking about the economic boycott because he was talking about the discrepancy and the inequality that we suffer as a people because we were not getting any of the, the government grants. We were not getting any of the land that was being allocated. We were not getting any of the tax breaks. We were not getting any of those things. Then he realized, like, oh man. And the minister talk was about the 63 Dr. King and the 68 Dr. King. And he was saying the 63 Dr. King was the dreamer who had this false narrative in his mind cultivated as if that dream was that of us integrating was going to be great, not realizing that that was going to be the nightmare that was going to make us dependent upon wanting to be upper class in their society and accepted in this integrated society. When Dr. King realized before he died, he said, I want to redistribute the pain. You know what I mean? I want them to feel what we have been feeling. He said, I want to boycott Coca-Cola. I want to boycott Wonder Bread. I want to have, I've realized that he realized that economics was warfare. And so he was changing the trajectory of his dream towards us cultivating economic empowerment because he realized that we had to get, just like Soulja Boy said, cut that check. Martin Luther King was the first person that said, we coming for that check. That's his word. He said, we coming for that check. You know what I'm talking about? He said, cut the check. But see, you got people now who really to vote for Kamala Harris and ready to put their trust in the government, and what this happens is the excitement of a candidate represents the thought process that the government is still serving your best interest. You getting excited for a candidate to run a satanic order. That's basically what it is. It's like being excited for a new slave master. Because it don't matter if your slave master is the greatest, nicest human being on the planet. Because they're your slave master. And that's what people don't understand. So we want to be happy with these jobs. Oh, I got a nice job. Yes. You got a nice job. Think about that. You understand me? So what was it? 1865, June 19th is when they told the slaves in Texas that they was free. That's our day. We celebrate. And not soon after that, we was able to start building up in 1919 and have our own economic base. We was building up Black Wall Street, and we hung on this part, Black Wall Street, because here is it 100 years later, and we finally seeing a Tulsa real estate fund breaking ground in Oklahoma, restarting over after the 100-year curse. But our people are still weighed heavily on thinking and wanting somebody else to serve their interests instead of you becoming economically sovereign, instead of you doing things like in-home banking, instead of you doing equity groups with each other, instead of you looking at the people, your peers, to serve your best interests. Your family supposed to serve your best interests, not the government. But, and here's the thing. If we wanted to be the type of people who understand the totalitarianship that we live in, and we were the type of people that were getting in politics so we can become lobbyists, build corporations, so they serve the interest, of what we want them to do. We want them to do these laws. We want them to do that. But no, we want to be voters. And say that voting matters. I ain't never heard a black person that all that vote or die shit. I ain't never heard nobody say we need to be lobbyists. But we need to be voters. I ain't never heard nobody say we need to form corporations, get lobbies, and lobby the politicians to change the laws that's not the kind of talk that we have. That's power talk. Because that deals with money, because you got to have money to do that. The money is the power. So we can talk about this revolution all we want to, but if we don't have economics in the middle of that, then there's no sustainability, there's no power. There's no power. So when we empower ourselves, and when you see black men and women sharing this knowledge today, it's because we know that it's not enough for one of us to be catapulted in this system. Oh, I got a little further, because we realize if I'm up here and I'm by myself and my people down there, what I have will soon be destroyed, because the majority that don't think like me have it all. So no, I want to build my brother up, that brother up, and I want to share and disperse this information all over. Because the more of us build, the more power we have, the more we'll be able to lobby, create our own separate state and territory and power of our own. How lonely is it to be at the top with your millions? How lonely is it to be at the top with your success? How lonely is it to be at the top with your formulas? But you can't just give someone something that they didn't earn. You can't just give someone something that they didn't earn. So at the same time, a brother has to earn, a sister has to earn, reciprocation has to be within the embeddedness of the relationship. Like you have to give to get because it makes you value the knowledge. So here's the thing. A person go out to eat. A person take a trip. A person buy some shoes. A person indulge in entertainment. They buy. The consumer buys what they value. But the knowledge. Oh, you got a course, bro? Oh, you got some knowledge that'll change my family life? That should be free. Nigga lost his mind. But you done bought the liquor. But you didn't threw money at the stripper. But oh no, bruh. Wait a minute. You trying to give me something that's too positive that'll change my life too much. I think that should be free. The reason you think it should be free is because you don't value it. That's the only reason. It's not because you don't think that it's good information. You just don't value it, so you won't use it. So here you want everything to be free because you don't value the quality of the knowledge. But a person that values knowledge, they go seek, search, find, invest, you know what I mean, and cultivate mind and get all of it that they can because they realize that if they get quality knowledge, they get superior knowledge, it makes them more valuable. It makes you more valuable. It makes you more valuable. I absolutely love people who value knowledge. Those are my kind of people. Like, those are the people I can hang around with. Those are the people that stimulate me, I can have conversations with. Because if they value knowledge and they seeking and searching and finding and gathering knowledge, so when I talk to them, I can listen to them and mine their mind for the knowledge that they have. They can mine my knowledge to the knowledge that they have, and we have an exchange of value. But if they don't value knowledge, I'm just giving, and they giving nothing back. Nothing back. Nothing back. You understand me? So it's very important that, you know, when a person is giving you solution, a person is giving you keys like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was doing back in the day, and he was telling people how to win, they didn't value the knowledge. The black people didn't value that knowledge. Marcus Garvey was giving people the knowledge back then on how to build. People didn't value that knowledge. He was telling people how to get their own shipping companies and do trade. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was telling you how you do trade and start your own nation. People didn't value the knowledge. It's dangerous when you don't value knowledge because you miss out on all the value you could have added to yourself. So here you are, you have today a lot of paradigm shifting brothers. Red Pill, Blue Pill, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Ben X, Rizza Islam, Pop Darby, you understand me? Jay Morrison, myself, Derek Grace, you understand me? I mean, it's so many people. I'm not going to remember everybody. But these people, those are the people you're supposed to value. Like, you're supposed to listen and be like, yo, I needed that key. But I want you to listen in the aspect that you're doing it for instructional learning. What I mean, what's instructional learning, Keys? You're always creating your own ideas upon things. Instructional learning. That's what instructional learning is. When you're reading instructions on how to build something, let's say you bought something from IKEA, you need to put it together, and you don't know how to configure it. Nobody reads the full instruction from 1 through 10 step. No, you read the first instruction and then you work. See, this is how I want you all to, I don't want you to just consume, because while you're consuming, you're not thinking, right? While you're consuming, you're not thinking. Whatever you're consuming is doing the thinking for you. It's just entering, right? So when you consume, you're supposed to use. Now that that's thinking for you, take that knowledge that's fresh on your mind and use it. So every time you consume information, I want you to use the information. You take a video that got good knowledge, don't go to the end. It's not entertainment. Stop right there. Execute. Come back. Get the next step. Execute. Come back. Get the next step. Execute. But we are consuming knowledge like it's entertainment. And that's where we lose. Because we consume the knowledge like, oh, That was cool to hear. Good, good. That made me happy. No, no, no. That's not how you build. That's not how you value knowledge. I listen to people and I be listening and they be wondering why this brother not clapping, why he not getting loud, why he not showing excitement, because I'm listening. When the teacher is really teaching, I don't want to get too excited. Excitement leads away the mind. So when I see people in mosques and churches and schools, you know what I mean, clapping, I say, what the hell are these people so excited? This man up there teaching. Relax, learn, listen, absorb, take notes. But when you clapping, you excited and you happy, excitement leaves away the mind. Because your adrenaline rushing, your endorphins are rushing, it's flooding your senses. So you're not truly downloading the information. You're caught up in the feeling it gives you. Instead of you allowing that neuroplasticity, what's that called? Neuroplasticity anyway. You're allowing that to download into your mind. And then you take it and then you think upon what you're learning and you interpret that in the way that you can understand it. Because when somebody is telling me something, what I want to do is put it in my own words, because if I can put it in my own words, it lets me know that I understand it. So I'm working on a few different businesses right now. And I was talking with a brother, he was explaining the business that we're going to be working on, and I'm listening, and I had to go back over and break it down to him in my own words, but I know I don't truly understand it yet, because if I had to give this formula to a third grader, I couldn't break it down in a manner that they will be able to understand it. So I said, send me some more. Send me more information. So before I present it to the people, I know that I have the complete comprehensive understanding because I know it's a value. But a lot of times we get so excited and we prematurely deliver information that we don't truly understand. No, 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 no. It's a process. It's a process. So, Keys, why are you always focusing on mind management? Because our people do not know how to manage themselves yet. They don't know. We don't know yet, y'all. We don't know how to take information and execute. We don't know how to manage our time. We don't know how to manage our rising in the morning. Man, I got such a cold formula that I wrote down for the winning as morning to keep you focused and spark for the rest of your day. We all want to get into this higher consciousness. We don't know how to manage to not we don't know how to manage to not calcify our pineal glands. We don't know how to manage all that. We don't know how to manage to not eat the wrong food so that we can have electrical bodies, so that we can have electrical thoughts. We don't know how to do all that. We don't know how to manage our time so we have the greatest amount of efficiency within our day. You know, we don't know how to take a break when we're supposed to. We don't know how to create intervals of work ethics so that we don't procrastinate. We don't know how to take information that can change our lives and actually use it to change our lives. You ever learn some information that we know is extremely powerful? Like, man, I just listened to some life-changing information, a system that was so powerful that I know that if I apply, why don't we apply the valuable knowledge? Because we don't have control over our minds. Think about this. We want to do something, but we can't do it. And so here's the thing. The master teachers, a lot of time, that got the most valuable knowledge, they don't have time to go over to get your mind prepared to absorb the information that they're trying to give to you. So they end up throwing you information that's the most valuable in the world, but you're not ready to receive it because your mind is not prepared to manage itself to execute based off the instructions that you've just gotten. Because knowledge is instructions. Superior knowledge is instructions. So I come in, I said, wait a minute. I started off wanting to give people all of the high knowledge. But I realized these are neophytes and adepts, people who's just starting off. These are initiates. These are not people who are advanced. Even though I would love to go way farther over your heads and start talking, quantum physics and your metaphysical properties and strategies, that's all in the different atmospheres of reality and different dimensions. But I understand that you have to impression the people and expand their awareness and expand their ability to use and apply the knowledge first. So when you give it to them, they're executing every step of the way. Because I don't want you to just be sitting here absorbing information that could have changed your life. Because I know it can, because sometimes you'll go listen back to the content like, wow, I listened to that? I didn't even realize it had those keys in it. Because here's the thing. We have a dominant paradigm, our collection of thoughts, right? And it operates like a frequency. Yeah, I mean, because our brains, have wavelengths, right? We have brain waves. So a thought is just a wave. It's just a brain wave, right? So when I speak to you, it's sound. Because you have the system of interpreting the receptivity of a sound wave, you know what I mean? That when you listen, this makes sense to you because you have the programming of understanding these sound waves that I'm giving to you. Now I want you all to follow me here. We are all just molecules, fast-moving molecules. We are all just operating on a frequency, on a wave. So as I'm giving you knowledge, but what's knowledge? Knowledge is just sounds that I'm giving you. But you are able to interpret those sound waves. But I'm not giving you anything in a tangible, physical sense. I am only sending you sound waves to change the waves that are in your mind, to change the frequency of your mind, to change the pattern of thinking. Because we have a rhythmatic pattern of brainwave activity in our current paradigm. That is our current frequency. It's known as our dominant frequency, our collection of programs and thoughts. So if I give you superior knowledge, it raises your frequency. It changes your pattern, your rhythmatic pattern through sound waves. That's all I'm giving you. But there are certain sound waves that have embedded frequencies that are of higher frequencies. So superior knowledge is that frequency of truth. It's that 19 key meaning energy, because sound is just energy. Waves are just energy, just another product of energy, because in the universe, we only have a finite amount of energy, meaning that it can't be produced and it can't be destroyed. We're only pulling from what is. So I believe that we already have all of the knowledge in our mind, because I'm not actually giving you anything. I am only changing your pattern of thinking. I am only rearranging it the same way molecules of water are rearranged to be in different state from some solid, liquid to gas. But there's the same amount of molecules. And all you do is rearrange it and it changes into a different state. So what we're doing is changing your frequency so you are in a different state of consciousness. Woo. That was so heavy, I almost fell on that. You know what I'm talking about? So I want people to be able to understand that imagine this though, because this where it get deep. So our brain in delta wave or in beta wave is when we sleeping. Yeah, I mean, that's when we're not conscious observers, right? We don't have awareness. That's when we're in our dream state. But that's when a person is most programmable. You know what I mean? Meaning that a lot of times right before you sleep, like y'all about to go to sleep, it's great that you're listening to this information. Because while you're sleeping, you're able to download this information. You understand me? And while you sleeping, it's creating new neural connections. So when you wake up, you're not thinking the same you did when you were sleeping. So that means that you wake up a different person. So every day you're supposed to upgrade. You're supposed to change. Which also means the more experiences you go through changes the way that you think, changes your pattern of thinking, right? Because imagine this, if you had different parents and you grew up in a different country, you wouldn't be the same person. You would speak a different language, different belief, different outcome, different thought process, different paradigm, right? So you have to ask yourself, is my current paradigm a limitation? Right? Is my belief system a limitation to how I view the world? Because you are just a collection of your parents. You are just a collection of your belief system, which also creates your bias, which also creates your judgments. All right? So you may be judging something that could be an opportunity. Let me tell y'all something. In 1995, there was the first internet .com. It was the first internet browser that was put on Wall Street, and they IPO'd, and it became $1 billion company. And during that time, our people, I'm not sure what our people was doing in that tech industry, but a lot of people were judging the internet. Instead of observing the internet, they were judging. It's a difference between when you observe something and you judge it. People didn't know what the internet was. They was like, what is this thing? But then there was other people that wasn't judging it. They were observing the opportunity to interact with it, because their programming allowed them to appreciate technology and appreciate paradigm shifts. So when they viewed it was different than the other people, they seen opportunity. while other people was judging and saying, oh, this won't be around. I don't know what this is. People wanted the old way to continue to exist instead of realizing that there was a shift taking place that they could have interacted with, right? So this IPO went to $1 billion, which was supposed to let everybody know that this thing called the internet was real. Now, the people in Wall Street, they're money hungry, you know, and people in the technology world, they realized it. They said, oh, this not going anywhere now. Bill Gates became the company was Netscape. You can look this up. So Bill Gates tried to buy Netscape. Netscape told Bill Gates no at first. Then they went into a browser war. So they got into this browser war where they was trying to be the one who owns the browsers of the internet. You know what I mean? And so when it ended up happening, of course, Microsoft ended up winning. They end up obtaining the company that IPO'd, and that company ended up becoming a part of Microsoft, because Bill Gates is a ruthless guy. Everybody always show those pictures of Bill Gates and his little punk ass outfit and him standing in line for some cheeseburger. I don't give a damn. That man is ruthless. He wants to monopolize and own. People always talking about some, like, you want to know about some goddamn billionaire habits of him not buying goddamn clothes. That don't mean nothing. That man buy companies. That man is ruthless. Ain't nobody telling you about the ruthless tactics it took for him to get billions of dollars. Because you got to be ruthless to get billions. Let's be honest. Ain't nobody obtaining billions of dollars unless they have a ruthless, non-emotional business tact and approach to be able to build. But that's beside the point. Let's talk back about judgments and observations and opportunities, because they all go hand in hand. So currently today, there are people who are judging the social media realm, judging the millennials, judging this person, that person. But they're only judging because they're biased based on their programming, which is really based on what their parents taught them, the environment their peers taught them when he was young, right? So they growing up with these and they become limitations. These become blocks in your way instead of your mind is flowing like this, is more so operating like a box. You are boxed in by your judgments and it won't allow you to go so far. Right? So you have to ask yourself, if my beliefs in my current state, is it limiting my observation? Right? Because when you change and you upgrade and you reprogram self, you see things differently. So boom, case in point, I seen the internet as an opportunity. I said, whoa, look at this. Okay. Here's the thing. The way that the internet is operating right now, we're not even using, I believe, the same way we talk about our brains. The internet is like our brain capacity. You know how they say we ain't using 10% of our potential? We're not using 10% of the potential of the internet. Now, I want you to imagine this. And just 20 years from now. Imagine 20 years from now, we looking back in 2019, and we thinking about the opportunities that were existing. The same way people were looking back in 1995 when they seen that article about the internet and they seen that article about Netscape, and they didn't realize that they were in the time of one of the greatest paradigm shifts for them to interact with the opportunity called the internet. It's the same thing that's happening right now, that we living in 2019, and in 2029, the people are going to look back like, damn, I wish I knew what I knew now then. But here's the thing, that we spend so much time on our judgments that we're not observing the opportunity, because it takes energy, right? It takes energy. So once you have the correct amount of energy to be able to observe correctly, you can interact with the opportunity. So I think about all those guys, the first people that started the social media, that also was sparked because of what happened in Netscape in 1995, because they started off creating chat rooms. Then after these chat rooms, they realized that they can connect people all over the planet Earth. And they said, wow, we can connect people from all over the planet Earth. This is going to create a system of people being able to connect, with individuals and strangers and create groups. Like, they were the first people, I ain't even got the company name right now, but they were the first people who created social media. Yeah, I mean, and this was around the time in 1995 during the Million Man March. And guess what we were still dealing with? Our communities. We were dealing with the nightmares, the atrocities. We was dealing with the distractions. Guess what happens during chaos? Chaos sucks your time. And it sucks your energy and your thinking capacity to where you can't make the right decisions and observe the opportunities. So we were not able to think correctly because, and the same thing's happening right now. During chaos, you cannot think. And we have been in a constant state of chaos for over 400 years. There's never been a time to where a black man and woman can think clearly and observe the opportunities. Because guess what, those guys that were creating the social media, the only thing, they weren't thinking about no social injustices. They weren't thinking about how they have to atone with their brothers and sisters. They weren't thinking about no government conspiratorial thoughts. They weren't thinking about none of that. They were thinking about their dreams and how they can build outward to observe these opportunities and interact with them, because they had enough energy to think and interact with the opportunities because they weren't involved with the chaos. So they said, let's create social media. But our people, we living in a constant state of chaos. And when we're not in chaos, we're consuming. Right? We're consuming. We're consuming escapism, entertainment, games. You understand me? We consuming just our daily lives, social media content. While we're consuming, we're not thinking. And you only have a finite amount of energy per day to think, to make the right decisions. And at a certain point of time and day, you get decision fatigue later on throughout the day. So they said that it's best to see a judge early in the day if you're on parole, because you're more likely, I forget what the percentage is, but you're more likely for them to be able to dismiss your parole in the morning. And I think about this. I was once on parole. I had to show up early in the morning, like at 10. The judge dismissed my parole that day that I went in. All right? But they say if you see them in the later afternoon, the judges will actually extend people parole or not make any decisions. And the judges don't realize is that they have decision fatigue by the time it gets later within the day. So it's best to make your decisions early and cultivate that energy early. But if you're involved in chaos, it sucks your time, it sucks your energy. So by the time you make a decision, you're either making no decision or you're making the wrong decision. But we need our minds to think clearly. Because when we are able to think clearly, then we are able to interact and make the right decisions within our reality. Then we're able to seek opportunities. You understand me? Oh, man, I appreciate you. So, thank you, The Life of Lamar. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support. So, opportunities are in abundance all the time. But we have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to give up to get to where we want to be? So we have to give up a distraction in order to get to a goal. So you do go through a fast on these distractions, right? So I'm going to go through a fast on my distractions. What are you consuming? And I want you to think about the time that you're spending on that thing when you could be spending that time on something more productive. Reese, you going to get out of here, man. I don't like suckers. I don't really play with people like that. So when you're not distracted, you're able to think clearly. You're able to make better decisions. And it can be that, you know, they say it's 6 degrees of separation. It can be that degree of separation between you having that genius idea that allows you to build outward and create something that will change your life, or just execute on the information that you already have and take it as instruction instead of entertainment. You know what I mean? And so that's the powerful thing about black people in America getting a clear mind and not focusing on white supremacy, not focusing on white devil, over here, government, chaos, fear. Fear causes panic, panic causes crash. Fear causes panic, panic causes crash. Same thing that happened in the 1930s during the Depression. People started to believe there's going to be a depression. It created that paradigm, and then it actually crashed. It actually happened because what's crashed? It's when the people start withdrawing their money out of the financial systems because they're panicking. They have no trust in the financial systems anymore. They're panicking. A crash is just the people panicking. Then withdrawing, taking their money, putting it somewhere else. So the system crashes. Not because it had to, because the people panicked. So chaos causes that, make people make the wrong decisions. So I want our people to have the highest level of consciousness to be able to deal and have the energy to deal with these things. So I'm giving you routines in the morning so that you will be able to absorb and have that energy to deal with anything that happens throughout the day so you can think clearly so you can make the right decisions. And as you make the right decisions, then we get into things like tech industry. Now we get into coding. You understand me? Now we getting into programming. Now we're learning about what's the Internet of Things. Now we get into deep learning, machine learning. Now we getting into blockchain. Now we getting into crypto investment. All those things that we currently don't have the energy because we are wrapped up in the chaos of this paradigm. We wrapped up in the chaos of the government. We wrapped up in the chaos of the entertainment, chaos of the gossip, chaos of the content, that we don't have the time to think and make the right decisions. So while we're not making these decisions, the opportunities are passing us by. Not that they don't pre-exist our observation, it's just that we are not observing them correctly. They are all abundance. There's always a new internet happening. There's always a new internet. The next move is the current move. See, here's the thing. People always want to know what's the next move. We haven't mastered the current thing. Once you master... There's a story about this guy that was mining, right? There's a story about this guy that was mining, and he had a farm. It was like a gold mine. He had like acres of land, and he was mining it for years. I'm talking about like, decades, like 16 years. And he got tired. And he ended up selling a portion of his land, like 3-4 acres of his land, so that he can go get to another site. And after he sold it, the guys that had bought it, they start mining it into territories that he didn't even explore on his own land. And after they did that, they hit a gold reserve that was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This is a true story. I'm telling it in the shortest version possible. They hit a reserve that was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So he sold part of his land so he can mine somewhere else when he didn't even fully take everything that was in his possession from his opportunity. So I look at that like we are today. There's a lot more for us to mine and master. But we're looking for the next thing instead of fully cultivating and mastering the current. Because the people that are winning right now today are the ones that are mastering the current reality, not the ones that's mastering the future. Even though the current is the future, so if you're mastering now and you're mastering tomorrow and the next day, you are always mastering the future. So you never get left behind because you're always steeped in the present thing. There it is. What are you mastering today? Do you know what the Internet of Things is? You know how they're creating technology to communicate with each other so that it works with each other? Do you know about deep learning and machine learning, the difference in those algorithms? Do we know about anything in this trustless system of the blockchain and all the innovations that can come from it? Do we have problems that can be created by applications? Every problem can be solved. Think about this. We have a problem with the black dollar, right? The black dollar, what if we created an algorithm, because now we have artificial intelligence and we utilize artificial intelligence to start solving our problems, right? So we say that, okay, the same way that they're creating chaos, we can use it to solve our problems. So we say that the black dollar only circulates for 6 hours. So what if we had an app to where all black people in the world can download and we are able to connect our bank accounts to it? Yeah, that's trustless. It's a part of the blockchain. And we said that, you know what? This artificial intelligence algorithm lets us know how much percentage of black dollars that we are spending with each other because it has marked all of the black businesses that are registered. So it's actually clocking the amount of hours that our black dollars are spending in our community. Now, community meaning internet online community. See, that's why I don't think the black dollar only circulates 6 hours no more. Because our community don't look like going to Sally's store over here, Brother Kareem's store over here on the street. It looks like on the internet it's happening. So our online community is spending more money with each other ever than before. But it only happens if you're doing it, right? So we have this app that's an artificial intelligence app, and it's capturing it and saying that, oh, now boom, we up to 6, 7 hours. Boom. We up to 8 hours. Oh, we up to a day. Oh man, we up to 2 days. Damn, we surpassed the Jewish community. We're not able to see the tangibility of our change, so we're not able to believe it. When you're not able to believe it, then you're not adding to the frequency of it, so you're not changing the paradigm. You have to impression people with the idea first so that they can implement it. Because when people start to feel good, remember, people are not driven by reason and logic. People are driven by feelings. So if we had billboards everywhere constructed that say black dollar circulating more, black wealth is on the rise, and let's say if black people collectively were spending $400 billion on advertisements per year just to program ourselves to change our own paradigms. Meaning that imagine if every billboard that we looked at, every advertisement that we seen on the phone, the same way they had Russian bots that was programming to create chaos, so that we can think correctly and make the wrong decisions that determine the outcome of the presidency. Imagine we did that with our economic power. We propagated the ideas that we wanted to see into fruition. So we created, and we curated, and all black people can do this. We can be putting a penny a day for this. Our own marketing campaigns, $1 a day for this. Our own marketing campaigns, because we have as much wealth as 9 nations. Or the top 9 nations, or not the top 9 nations, but we have as much wealth than almost every nation in the world except a few. Us collectively combined. Now, I was listening to that on the Martin Luther King today. He told me that. So, if we do that, and then I look at it that marketers are spending $400 billion a year to make sure that Coca-Cola is spending like $200 million a year to make sure you drink Coca-Cola. Martin Luther King said it back in the 60s. He said, boycott Coca-Cola. But Coca-Cola is not spending money on just you older. They're spending money on younger people. These younger people know what Coke, they can, before they know they got damn alphabets, before they know how to read, they can recognize the Coca-Cola brand. Why? Because they're spending money on making sure that you become a consumer for life. For life, right? So imagine if we were spending money, and the reason you become a consumer because of that nostalgic feeling that it has when you were younger, when you seen it, it produced that feeling, it drives your will, and then it makes you consume so that it produces that feeling again. That's why we're driven by these feelings. So if I seen a billboard every day that was saying the black dollar starting to circulate one day, and then every month we was changing this, and now it's circulating 26 hours, and every day it was going up. Guess what? It's going to remind me to shop black, so I add to the frequency because I love the feeling, so it drives and it cultivates the will to produce the paradigm. This is all paradigm shifting because it becomes a subconscious thing to where it's saying that, damn, the only way that it has to be circulating, it means that I take some of these dollars, like Brother Claude Anderson, he said that you're not taking a single one of your dollars and spending black. We taking all our money outside the communities. So we say, you know what, it makes people more aware that, I want to look at how much money I have, and then I want to think about where am I spending it black at. And if I'm not doing that today, then I'm not adding to the frequency of the circulation of this black dollar. So I can't be proud of the feeling of this propaganda that I'm seeing because I'm not adding to it, which also makes me guilty because now I'm aware that I'm a part of the problem. So I don't want to be a part of the problem. I want to eliminate this guilty feeling and get to that righteous feeling. So if I get to that righteous feeling, then I'm going to circulate my dollar. But if we propagate the problem, then we only producing a problem because that's the only frequency that we're on, which is driving our will. Come on now, people. Come on now, people. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I just solved the world. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. You know what I mean? So, you know, we have the ability to change our future. We have the ability to change the outcome of what we want to see in present reality. But we have to be We have to be that clever. We have to be the scientists today. We have to be the experimenters on each other. We have to create and produce. You know what I mean? Y'all in Keys Academy right now. So join the Keys Academy, man. Get a part of this, man. Link in the bio. Join the app, man. Be a part. Like, if we get 10,000 people on our app, we're going to be able to create these solutions. The Keys Academy app, man. Come on, M-Tones. We're going to give you packets. We're going to give you the knowledge to become a community organizer. We're going to give you the knowledge and packets that will give you business credit knowledge to help you do microfinancing. We're going to give you the tools to change your economic paradigm. And you're going to get classes per week. And you get part of a community that builds together. And a part of this community, there's everybody that you need in there. You go to the chat and you ask, say, I need somebody to do this. Boom, I'm one of the members. I can do that for you. But we need a big membership. I'm telling you, we get 10,000 people, we be able to solve some real problems. We be able to create these solutions. It goes from idea. No, the app, look, the app already exists. It's called Unity as well. You go to the link in my bio, so you get to build. How you think these things, here's the thing. We want these things to be built, but we don't want to help facilitate the people that build the apps. Meaning, if I have the idea and I had the funding, the app would be in production. But we don't want to support our genius. We don't want to support our genius. I was listening to a guy today. He's the guy who made that show, Supersize Me. He said, I was having some meetings with some investors, and I had one investor. We were sitting in a bar, and he told me that he told him this idea about how he wanted to start creating this content, and he wanted to create this entertainment. And he said one guy happened to believe in him. And he said, I gave him my idea and I told him about it. He wrote me a check for $200,000. He said, I didn't know if the damn check was real. You know what I mean? He said, I didn't know. I sat there and drank with him all night to, you know what I mean? Just in case it was. And he said the next day I was able to fund that. After I was able to get this content and this show off the ground, then he was able to create the movie Supersize Me from the profits of that show. And I was thinking like, man, the white community really have people to fund their genius. They have benefactors, people who believe, like they believe in each other. And they create ideas that change the world. And he went and took that Supersize movie to Sundance, and it became an instant classic off little to no money. But we don't believe in each other. We always questioning each other. How much this costs? What's that? What's this? These people are writing each other checks. These people really believe in their geniuses. But we worrying about $19 a month. We worrying about $10 a month. Like, that's so petty. That's so petty. And we wondering why we can't change anything because we're holding tight to $1 that we would spend at the store. We would spend this on the store on soda, but we're holding tight to the dollar. I was always taught that if you hold on to it, you're going to need it. You hold on to it, you're going to need it. So if I let it go, that means it's going to come back to me, it's going to circulate. But I'm holding on to, I need that dollar now. So, you know, it's dangerous how we think. It's dangerous how we think. You know, wealthy people invest in other people so that they can become wealthy. They want to create more wealthy people. So we got to get to that point where we invest in our genius. Like this whole live, like if you took that and you take money and you put money behind it and the people get behind it, changes the world. These ideas are world changing. Like that idea, that just this live right now, those ideas are implemented, changes the world. Changes the world. I got 50 people on here. Y'all not willing to invest in me. Some of you all are. Some of you all not willing to invest in yourself. Some of you all not willing to invest in your friends and your family members. So I get it. That's not like I'm not shaming you or anything of that nature. That's fine. You understand me? But it's that you have to think about, are you willing to buy the future you want to see? And I mean by buy, whatever you spend your money on, you are putting that into production. So if you spend your money with Coca-Cola products, you're buying them into the future. You spend your money on Netflix, you're buying them into the future. You spend your money on bullshit, you're producing a liability future of bullshit. Like like if you got a vision in your mind, then you have to invest in order to see that come outward. And I just gave you all the whole scenario on how to change the paradigm. That was game, free game. I ain't charge you for that. I ain't charge you for that. You get this free game, but what are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna take this information and apply it to your life? That's up to you. I just come here to provide the value. I just come a conduit for Allah to be able to teach. Thank you, Brother M. Tones. I appreciate your support 100%. These ain't my ideas. These ideas comes from the Creator. I'm just streaming these ideas and giving them to you, and inshallah, I become an executor. These not my ideas. I get these from you. That's why I give them away. Because guess what? Our people are not executors anyway, so here I give you a genius idea, but you're not going to implement that. Some of you all will. Some of you all take the opportunity and say, thank you. Let me reciprocate. I have people that have followed me and know the work and build with me for 3 years. Not 1 inch of support. Not 1 lick of support. And that's fine. Nobody has to do nobody has to do anything. I just think about that mentality. That how you can be getting value from a person for years and not even think about a way y'all can even collaborate together, or how you can support that person so that they can become bigger, so that they can reach more people. That's selfishness. I want to keep this to myself. That's selfishness. Nah. So all the people that I know, I add value to their life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna add if they giving me value, I'm posting them up. I'm gonna buy their product or something. I'm supporting some sort of way. Because that is geometrical progression. That's geometrical progression. So we have to continuously work in the law of reciprocation, and we have to value knowledge. Man, that blueprint that Marcus Garvey, Honorable Elijah Muhammad laid down, genius. But if we don't value the knowledge of those who were and of those who are, we will not get to it. We will not get to it. So I hope you all got some value tonight. I hope you all listened. I hope you learned. And I hope it burned and ingrained in your mind. And like, we produce a change. I get passionate about this stuff because, man, as a man, when you have a vision, as a masculine man, you have a vision, you want to produce that vision from your mind and take your will and produce it into reality. Pillar of manhood is being able to establish your willpower. So I can't have a great vision and be helpless and powerless with the ability to produce that vision. So I get passionate, and I gotta keep working until I have the power to produce the vision. So I thank everybody who comes on to support, who listens, who learn, who build. Because there's too many of us that's doing it the right way. There's too many of us that's building. And we not perfect, we working. I ain't perfect, I'm working. I got so many flaws and imperfections. But I work on them every day. And as I work on them, I become a better person. So take the information, please, and build. Like, I want you all to change your life because of this. That's my reward, is you changing your life. And you taking those ideas and you executing. And you stop procrastinating. Your margin of procrastination becomes smaller till there's nothing but execution and production. That's the value I get. Helping you. That's right. So thank you all for tapping in. You know, if you all appreciated this live, you know what I mean? Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tag somebody in my page. Bring somebody here. Uh, you know, we got a couple programs that we bring into the people that I'm working and collaborating with some people, and I can't wait to bring to you all. It's gonna be amazing once I'm able to bring it all. Like me and Brother Ben talked about the streaming service. We have fun on that live, but it's serious. The support is serious. But we do this for the people, so it is what it is. And the Keys Academy, thank you for everybody who's been supported. Thank you for everybody who's been downloading the Keys Academy app. We just gonna keep making that bigger and bigger. Thank you for everybody that's been getting the crowns, man. Like, if y'all been watching, I know I use these crowns to propagate it. I know I use these crowns as one of my business that help me stream and travel and reach people. So it's more than just a fabric. It's more than just the symbols. Like, it really represents, productivity, and really represents execution. So every time you buy a crown, you helping me produce and add value to someone else, you know what I mean, and change the paradigm. And so, yeah, man, and all those people that always send us something to the Cash App, like, all of that stuff is amazing support, and it's always appreciated. And I just want y'all to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to develop, and continue to support those who are providing the valuable information to where you can build. You know what I mean? Providing that valuable information on where you can build. Like, you can really change your life out here, people, and you playing with it. You playing with your children's future. You playing with the children's future. And you got to stop doing that. Stop playing with your children's future. Like, your children can really be geniuses, and you're holding them back because you're not ready. You don't want to acquire the knowledge to teach them for their production of genius because you become jealous a lot of times. Your children go too far, or you become afraid of the success of having children that will be too intelligent, because then you will have nothing in common. Your children will be looking at you like, Pops, I don't want to do that. That's ignorant. Why would I only want to entertain myself through sports? Why would I only want to entertain myself through these avenues? Because if you produce that high frequency within your child, then they outgrow the paradigm of the parents. You're not sitting there learning hours of information on neural activity in the child's brain function so that you can implement this knowledge into their mind so that you can produce young geniuses in the paradigm. Nah. You passing down what was passed down to you, so they only inherit your limitations, but they don't want your limitations. So instead of asking the parents, they go ask Google, because I used to ask my mom and dad everything. I don't need to ask them everything. I can go Google. The Google is making these children more intelligent, so they become more informed than their parents. So they become rebellious of their parents because they don't want to live within the paradigm of their parents. They don't understand why you living in this box when you could have been in your higher consciousness with supreme knowledge. So either you teach your children, they will outgrow you. That's up to you. You're not a good parent unless you're producing a genius. And I'm not, and here's the harsh thing about this, that it takes patience. And this is why a lot of people don't want to do it. Because it takes patience to develop a genius. That means that you gotta learn too. That means that you gotta sit there and go through some of the information. So we developing children that are liabilities to themselves because we lazy and we impatient and we don't value knowledge in the process. But if you did, and I know some people who are willing to homeschool their children and sit there for hours. Like, there's certain things I wish my parents would have taught me at a young age. They were lazy and impatient with a lot of things, but there's a lot of things they weren't. My parents did sit down there and read and talk to me about a bunch of different stuff. That's why I am who I am today. But I'm wondered if they would have gave 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% more effort into it. Who would I have been then? Who will your children be if you give more effort to the development of their genius? Who will you be if you give more development to that child within you and grow it out? Brother Warren Way, you doing an amazing job. I see your beautiful, intelligent children. You're a prime example of someone producing geniuses. I got 1 minute, so we about to go. But stop letting your limitations becoming the next generation limitations. Stop only teaching them what you know. Go beyond what you know. Find what you don't know. Give them the information. They have the neuroplasticity to be able to learn and adapt to new information, to create new neural connections, to be able to deeply learn even things that are hard subjects for you to comprehend. Don't get jealous of your children if they become smarter than you. Continue to push them, because their goal and your goal as a parent, every child goal is to go further than their parents. That's how we get progression. But parents are afraid for them children to go further. That's their goal, is to go further than their parents. That's how we get progression. Each generation better than the next. And it's the current generation to create the next generation. So we got about 987-654-321. Yo, y'all like this Dream Keys down there? Go ahead, tap in. Peace.